Hey, Carol, thank you so much for hey, so thank you so much for taking the time to kind of do this interview with us. As you know, it's Black History Month, and we kind of wanted to highlight some of our NESB and just Black engineering graduates in grad school, especially. So I guess I could introduce myself first. My name is Raymond Agunjimi. I'm a junior computer engineering major at Villanova, and I'm really excited to start this interview.
Likewise. Well, I'm Karol Pierre. I am an alum of Villanova University. I graduated with my BS in computer engineering in 2019. And then I recently graduated from Johns Hopkins University, December 2020, with my master's in cybersecurity. And now I currently work at Amazon, specifically with AWS, working as an associate cloud consultant, um, essentially developing amazing solutions in the cloud.
All right, that's amazing to hear. So the first question that I have for you is, being an engineer, especially a computer engineer, what kind of led you to choose your major in computers?
That's a great question. So I would say that it started, I guess, my journey into computer engineering first. Started relatively early. I was taking courses outside of school just to really understand the architecture of the computer, understand why it does what it does. And From there, I essentially started to volunteer my time at the very shop that I was learning from. And I got to see firsthand how technology could be used to provide equity in families and specifically like low income families amongst their own peers. So from there, I was like, okay, I like this transformative technology. Let's see what I can do with this. Truly, I don't think it clicked for me until I was taking my AP exam in high school. I think it was my junior year. Yeah, my junior year. And we needed a clock in the place that we were taking our exam in. I believe it was the library, but there wasn't a clock in there. And our guidance counselor got a clock, and she's like, oh, okay, where can I hang this? And I just kind of observed the room, and we were in a library. So what I did was pull out maybe two or three books, like ever so slightly, and then just kind of put the clock right there at leaning against the shelves. And then from then, the guidance counselor said, wow, you should be an engineer. And I don't know why, but in that moment, like I just got so much clarity. Um, it's as if I was kind of waiting to hear those words, and kind of my trajectory was kind of set since then. Yeah.
Right. Wow, that's a great story. So what advice would you give someone that's kind of like in the same shoes that you were then, just hasn't maybe had that experience yet, someone that's thinking about majoring in engineering?
Okay. So someone that might still be in high school and is considering, what path they want to go on.
Perhaps, yeah, and what kind of engineering could they choose, things like that.
Right. I would say so. Make sure that whatever you do is rooted in something that can bring you joy. So for me, I guess my source of joy comes from wanting to help people. It's kind of been in almost every activity that I've kind of done. It's imperative for me, like that in each opportunity that I've sought out, that the end goal was to help others. So I think kind of having that as my driving force, and that's kind of my reminder, enabled me to persevere through, difficult classes, the long nights, the sleepless nights. I would say that when you're trying to figure out what you want to do, ensure that to some degree it brings you some level of happiness.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's probably the best way to choose your major.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the next question I have is, what's your current job? What do you do now?
Right. So I'm an associate cloud consultant at AWS. I actually recently started back in January. I got a chance to intern with them last summer, and then from there, they extended an offer. I accepted, and I absolutely love it. If someone would have said like, "Hey, you're going to end up in the cloud 2 to 3 years from now, or 3 to 5 years from now," from the time when I was kind of just focusing on being a computer engineer, kind of being a hardware engineer, really, I wouldn't have expected it, but I am loving every moment of it. It's transformative technology. I think it provides people with the power to continue to innovate, speed up to market with their solutions, and a variety of other things. But yeah, that's my role. I get to develop solutions for customers, and in hopes that they're able to progress their mission.
Wow, that sounds great. And so kind of along the lines of the last question, what advice would you give someone who's kind of just graduating and searching for a job?
Right. Let me take a moment to grasp my thoughts here. I would say attend conferences. Make sure that you are active in different organizations on campus, because you can also meet people through them. And what often will happen is sometimes you can find your next opportunity through your own network. So definitely being in tune with your network, attending conferences such as the NSBE National Conference, attending Afrotech. That's actually how I was introduced to AWS, and lo and behold, now I work here full time. So I definitely recommend seeking out these different conferences, because personally, that's kind of where I've had my success now that I think about it. With even prior internships as well, it was through a conference that I was able to secure them. So if I just want to speak from experience, I would highly recommend going to conferences and making sure you have, your updated resume, and just to kind of differentiate yourself maybe from other applicants. Maybe get one recommendation from one of your professors, or get a recommendation from a place that you used to volunteer over the summer or before you went to university. Try to get one of those recommendations and just kind of include it with your resume, because at that point, it's just saying like, hey, I'm taking this initiative. I'm making sure that I have people to be able to refer me. I have faith in my abilities. So here's a recommendation letter with my resume. I think that definitely aids in helping stand out. I know personally that's what I did with my first internship. So at least I think that was part of the reason why I was able to secure that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's why you're so successful. So,
I'm trying to be.
Sure. So who would you say, and what would you say is the most rewarding part of your current job?
The most rewarding part? Wow. The ability to learn. One of the Amazon leadership principles is learn and be curious. And it's not just something that's just said to be said. It's not just like a mission statement that exists and it's never visited again. It's something that I have seen that we live by every day. And the fact that I get to be able to work for a company that enables me to learn, I couldn't have asked for anything better. I would say that is what really resonates with me.
Yeah. And who would you say has helped most to kind of advance your career to where you are now, and be able to experience all those things that you were just talking about?
Right. I would say the GEM Consortium. The GEM Consortium is an amazing program that allows you to pursue your master's, or I'm not going to say your master's, but allows you to pursue graduate education, whether master's or PhD, within the STEM field. It's essentially geared at URMs, or underrepresented minorities, and trying to ensure that, the future is diverse and that opportunities are being given to everyone, essentially. And through that program, I've been exposed to so many amazing humans who are doing amazing work and continue to inspire me. I like anytime I'm watching maybe a presentation that a friend is doing, or I'm attending one of the GEM national conferences, I am truly just in awe. I've kind of had the opportunity to interact with so many GEM fellows, and it's really a family. It's like once you're in, you have this support system, and it's really beautiful. And I think they are in part why I've been able to kind of garner some of the success that I have. It's truly through them. Like, I was given the opportunity to be able to attend university or I should say, attend graduate university because of GEM, and build my network because of GEM, access to some of these amazing opportunities because of GEM. So if my message hasn't been clear, please take a look at GEM Consortium if you're considering attending graduate school.
Well, yeah, I mean, that sounds like an amazing opportunity. I've actually also just been recently introduced to it, so I'm definitely looking into that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let me know if you ever want to talk about it, or if you want to be introduced to maybe someone that might be in your field or at your the university that you're considering. Yeah, I'd love to be able to talk about that with you.
That'll be great. Okay. So what are some of the challenges that you faced, in your career so far, and how did you overcome them?
So we're in a pandemic.
It's a big one.
So the beauty of it all is that technically, I guess, if we wanted to do a summation of all of my time here at AWS between my internship and my full-time, I've been here for maybe about 4.5 months. And in my 4.5 months, I have never been in the office. So I don't know what working in an office is like. I suppose you could say I am an offspring of work from home. And I've actually really become comfortable with this experience. So I'm not sure what that's going to look like.
Yeah, I would say you're a pioneer. You're kind of making history
Right.
here.
Right, exactly. But I honestly wouldn't even qualify it as a challenge. I think it's been an amazing opportunity because I'm still able to kind of work from the comfort of my home and still get to do amazing things. I'd say if there were like any challenges, I want to take my time with this because it's important. I would say that some challenges might be, not necessarily having the full support that you would like to have with certain initiatives. So maybe like, hey, I think I want to go to graduate school. So just kind of ensuring that at the end of the day, the passion or the drive to want to pursue anything, it doesn't have to be graduate school, but just to want to pursue anything, it has to definitely come from within. Because unfortunately, that validation will not come from others. Truthfully, you might not find that support system through maybe like some professors that you might be considering. It definitely is something that you have to be willing to fight for yourself. You have to truly believe in yourself. Yeah, like I can kind of speak to his personal experience where my senior fall semester, it got really hectic. So I'm a part of a few organizations. I'm also a student, but then on top of that, kind of commencing that GEM fellowship process, applying to graduate schools. There were a lot of things happening simultaneously, and it could have been easy for me to just say, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to take a break from this.
Yeah.
But I knew that there was a greater purpose as to why I wanted to achieve what I wanted to achieve. And just kind of reminding myself, because, despite the emotional, mental, physical toll that was being
Wow.
taken on me around that time, that objective was always in mind. And I think that was what allowed me to kind of persevere through that time. Yeah. And
Kind
it
of
was
like the
also
light at the end of the tunnel.
exactly the light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now everything is coming back to memory. So at the time it was also working on my senior capstone, applying to graduate school, taking the GRE. I was also, president of 2 dance teams,
Yeah.
also doing part of NESB. So it got really hectic, to say the least. And, it's kind of like, okay, that is by your own doing. So that support has to come from within in order to persevere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that you were really involved when you were here on campus, so
Yeah.
I can imagine. Sure. So how did you adjust the first year out of college? What was that kind of period like for you? I guess for you it'll be 2 of them, right? Because you were out of college twice.
Right. I was going to say, I think I got lucky where I was still able to just transition to another university. But I'd say like the major difference, it's more independent, driven within grad school. So you're kind of tasked with searching for a research advisor that is in line with what you want to search for. You're kind of tasked with, it's like, here's the framework of what you need to graduate. Go in peace. So really finding the classes that align with what you believe that you would like to do, or an area that you would like to learn about, to be able to work in. So I definitely say there's like more independence with that. So I still had that like college experience, but just at the graduate level. And then once I guess I graduated from grad school, that period of transition, I suppose you could say, is still in progress. I'm only a month and 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks out.
Sounds like you're doing very well then.
Yeah, I was like, I think I'm doing okay. Yeah. I'm blessed with the opportunity to be able to work at Amazon. And I'm just super thankful for that. So yeah.
Yeah. And do you think there is, despite how well you're doing, is there anything that you would have done differently, maybe in that period or the period before, throughout college?
Yes, definitely. I'm always
I
having
guess
these
everyone has
introspective,
those.
right? I'm always having these introspective moments like, I should have did that. So I would say that, well, I suppose if someone is kind of looking at this and is considering going into university, please, 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 please consider all types of financial support, in the sense that, okay, you see a scholarship and they're only going to give you $5,000. In the grand scheme of things, it might not seem like a lot, right? If you're comparing it to the cost of the university, ranging from anywhere from $60,000 to $80,000 a year, it's like, okay, no, this is going to do anything. It will. That $5,000 can pay for your textbooks. That $5,000 can aid in being able to participate in certain activities at the university. That $5,000 can be, some money if you needed to maybe order something to eat because you kind of are tired of food on campus. That $5,000 represents truly an opportunity to do more, to be able to pay for conferences, because sometimes, you can't necessarily rely on scholarships to get, well, I guess it's a scholarship for a scholarship, right? But, sometimes you can't rely on these supplemental scholarships. So that is what, I guess those smaller scholarships really represent. They represent an opportunity. And I definitely wish I knew that, because I was for sure the person that was looking at the $20,000 scholarships, trying to look at the $50,000 scholarships, because at the time I was thinking, okay, I want to be able to get maybe 2 or 3 scholarships max, that would be able to pay for my university each year. So that's kind of what happened, I guess, from high school into undergrad, not necessarily knowing any better. So hopefully people do better than I did.
Right. But then you improved on that, right? You know, when you went to graduate school.
Exactly. I did not want to repeat my mistakes. So I sought out opportunities to essentially be able to pay for university. And GEM has been that and more, because through GEM, you also have access to internship opportunities. So that's growing your professional network, gaining experience in the field that you're interested in. So I don't think I could have asked for a better opportunity.
Yeah. Okay. So I know that you were really active, you know, over the summer too, while you were here at Villanova. So did you spend any of those summers kind of doing working at a company or doing an internship? And if you did, kind of how did those affect your, you know, your career decisions afterwards?
Right. So okay, let's get these summers correct. So the summer after my sophomore year, before my junior year, that was my first internship, and it was with Intel Corporation. I acquired the opportunity attending my first NSB National Conference in March out in what city was this one? Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I think. I think that was where the location was.
I believe so.
Yeah, and I can't remember the year specifically, but that was the summer, and it was an amazing opportunity. It was my first internship, so I didn't necessarily have like a precedent to what internship should be like, but now I have, I guess, a point of reference, and it was an amazing opportunity. Intel's internship program is so well thought out. It's created to allow you to really interact with your team, get to work on revolutionary technology, but then also get to interact with your cohort of interns, different activities that are geared at kind of building that friendship and building that network. And truthfully, some of the people that I met through Intel are some of my great friends now. So yeah, it was an amazing opportunity. Highly recommend. And I also highly recommend attending the NSB conference in general, because also a friend who was also going to NSB was able to essentially get a full-time offer through the conference. So that's why I always recommend conferences. Yeah. But in regards to, like, I guess the other opportunities that I had, I actually ended up interning with Intel 3 times. So the summer before my junior year, the summer before my senior year, and then the summer after I graduated from undergrad, before I started grad school.
Before grad school.
Yeah.
That is
and
great.
Then I was still interning even as a grad student after my first year. And that's when I transitioned to Amazon.
And how was that like? What was kind of the difference there, or what led you to kind of jump the company there?
Right. So there, the switch actually kind of happened with, I guess, my trajectory and focus. So I don't know if you remember, as I kind of mentioned earlier, I was kind of geared towards, hardware engineering, and Intel was amazing for that. But I was starting to, after a personal experience with kind of being like a victim to like a cyber attack or cyber crime, I didn't want that to happen to other people. So I kind of pivoted and wanted to go into cybersecurity and really learn more about the area. I had graduated with my minor in cybersecurity because, like, as a result of that. And then that's kind of like why I went into the master's program, wanting to do that. And with AWS, it was just kind of perfect because, with my internship experience, I got to build a cybersecurity solution. And yeah, it was just like, I was like, okay, I feel like I'm in the right place. The skills are aligning, the passion is aligning, the end goal, the objective of wanting to help people is aligning. So yeah.
That is great. Okay, so kind of just to close out here with, what would you say is your most meaningful memory from Villanova?
That's a great question. I would say, okay, I want to take my time with this one because there's
If you
some,
have multiple, that's also fine.
yeah, yeah. So I'd start off with a lot of my memories come from the different organizations that I was blessed with the opportunity of being a part of, or even being able to lead for a little bit. So that's Ablaze, Wazobia, Nesby, for sure, because Nesby gave me so much. So I wanted to be able to give back too. Yeah, Nesby, the Tech Zone, which is where I also worked. I loved my Tech Zone family. I essentially met great people through that opportunity, such as yourself. And yeah, so I definitely would say, like, interestingly enough, all of the opportunities outside of, I guess, academics, I'd say kind of tie into some of my favorite memories for sure.
Yeah. And I'm really glad that, we share so much of our common memories, with Nesby and Tech Zone.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the last question. Thank you so much for your time and for sitting down and interviewing with me here. It was really fun, and I learned so much about you. So thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for even considering me. I will always try to come back to Nesby if you guys ever need me. So I am
Absolutely.
so thankful and honored that you guys kind of reached out.
Yeah, thank you so much again.
Of course.
All right. Talk to you later, Carol.
Take care.